Good morning. This is my second time at an ASCOM event, although the first time I've appeared live on stage in India. Although the program shows me as representing one of the world's foremost food service and facilities management outsourcers, any outsourcing knowledge I possess is really based on my time at My Travel Group. And I'd like to talk today a little bit about how we used business process outsourcing to rescue that group and how maybe it provides some illumination to an answer to the question. And certainly in the case of business process outsourcing, I think that it has to change from outsourcing version 1 to outsourcing version 2. But as Bob says, it's more a change of emphasis rather than a reversal. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we also partnered with Zansa to deliver services from India. And last time I spoke to NASCOM delegates, I commented on how BPO was really like a marriage. And it seems to me that I'm going to extend that metaphor today. Certainly marriage is one of the most disruptive things that can happen to most bachelors. And I think we'll see today how marriage can also be very disruptive to the smooth running of a UK business when we partner with somebody in a foreign country. If there is to be a reversal from off to onshoring, how will that manifest itself in the customer's eyes? How does it affect the business? And as outsourcing 1 has moved from Bob's slide earlier showing 2004 as the first year, but actually maybe 5 or 6 years before that, what are the elements of outsourcing 2 that might make it much more successful in at least the BPO space? To do that, I think we need to go right back to think about how a marriage starts. Well, first, there's the courtship. You hover around at a stand out in the lobby there, wearing your badge, and pretty soon you're flirting with 1 vendor, 2 vendors, maybe 4 or 5 vendors, and eventually one catches your eye and you start to date with him, or in these Sarbanes-Oxley times, maybe you have to date 2 or 3 for proper marriage process governance purposes. Now, after dating for a while, well, what's the next step? You take that special one back out to meet your friends. In this case, the managers who are affected by the outsourcing, they want to meet this new character in your life. And later on, of course, just as in real life, they phone you up with their opinions. You must be crazy. He's not good enough for you. What on earth are you doing, throwing yourself away after that? And then after a while you pluck up the courage to take that special vendor home to meet the parents. And in the BPO space, of course, that's your own lawyers and the outsourcing deal team. And yeah, just like in real life, they have quite a different agenda. Well, no surprise there, I guess. Soon you have to swallow hard and pop the question, and you start planning for that huge cash outlay, the glittering prize that you see on so many presentations, the big day, and then of course the joy of living together in a harmonious union. And you start planning the wedding, who to include and who not to include. And just like in real life, the lawyers have lots of opinions there, pointing out indeed that it's illegal not to include certain people and illegal not to exclude others. And finally you get to the big day and your contract is signed, and just like when you sign the wedding register, it's a huge book. It's got all those promises for better or for worse, to love, honor and obey, always provided of course that there's been an opportunity to remedy the breach and reasonable notice has been given to the other party. And you start that eternal battle of who gets to wear the trousers. You enter your married life together, your business process has been outsourced, and things are just not the same anymore. Someone else needs to be taken into account all the time. And those questions start nagging away, and they continue throughout your married life. Am I getting enough? Invoices processed in the time agreed. Shall we play games? Or did the lawyers tie us down too tightly on that one? How do we keep things fresh in our relationship? What about children? Married life seems to throw up more unanswerable questions than quantum physics, and maybe that's why, certainly in the UK, so many fail. Yesterday, one of the speakers, I think it was Pramod from Genpact, said that 40% of BPO contracts failed. Eerily, that's about the same as marriage failure rate in the UK. So how do you keep your marriage together? How do you make your business process outsourcing, which is done on the traditional Model 1, how does it make it into version 2? How do you have a long and happy life together? In real life, of course, both parties have to put in a lot of hard work for over the whole of their lives. But my observations on working with a BPO team based in Chennai and Rochdale in England are as follows. I think the first one is to keep communicating. Communicate, communicate, communicate. In real life, how often do you find it said that really the marriage broke up because he or she squeezed the toothpaste on the wrong end? Patrick Snowball yesterday was commenting on his panel, the failure to communicate when things were going wrong. You've got to do it loud, and you've got to force action. It's no good sitting on your hands, it's no good letting it fester. It will lead to a messy divorce sometime down the line. Secondly, I think you've got to share, and you've got to keep sharing. You're in it together. Don't slip apart. You've constantly got to face the issue to share information, feelings, data, knowledge, irritations. You'll find that this will hurt, just as in real life. It's a two-way process. There's no good going off to sulk after an argument. Thirdly, you've got to find a way of maintaining your desire. Why did you get into this relationship? Don't let one partner get turned off. Don't let one partner slip away from things or feel neglected. You have to work at it and maintain your need for each other. And fourthly, you've got to nurture your relationship. You've got to celebrate its anniversaries, its important dates. You've got to celebrate its successes. You've got to celebrate even its near misses and its good efforts. But most importantly, you've got to celebrate together. You should never celebrate alone. You should always be inclusive, get both the teams together. And will it be enough? Well, I'm not sure it will, but I think that's a pretty good bedrock for how you keep your relationship going. But I find in all these conferences, it's interesting that we keep focusing on each other, the buying party and the outsourcing party, the company and its partner. I think that's very short-sighted. I think it stems from the curse of disintermediation, the navel-gazing inward focus on the process rather than reality. Don't forget, in real marriages, one or both of the partners have to go out to work and earn money. There's no secret that behind every great man there's a great woman. And behind every great company there is a great outsourcing partner. How do we make money in business? We keep our customers happy. And if I'm unhappy or my customer's unhappy, things won't be good at home. In a marriage, one partner often bolsters the other in these tough times. And let's be clear, every relationship has its tough times. And it's how you face those that defines whether you move from outsourcing one to divorce and onshoring, or whether you move to offshoring two, which I think is probably non-geographically based. In a business process, outsourcing, the SLAs often defeat common sense. Everything is almost not in the budget that you need to do to fix things. Both sides have to give and take. And this will get more than simple sympathetic words. It will require both sides to put their hands in their pockets. It will hit the cash flow and it will hit the P&L account. That's life. And I think that's all from me. I think I've tortured that metaphor long enough. Thank you for listening.